was to do it in July, right? But there were a few things that we just had to get together. I had to be more comfortable with and understand. And so at this point, I think I am ready. And I think it will be a lot easier for me to just do one thing instead of multiple because, like last week, it was on YouTube and Facebook, but somebody called me in the middle of the show and then it interrupted the stream to YouTube and Facebook, and it no longer, I can no longer get it back to stream correctly. So those type of interruptions won't be possible when I'm doing it on just one stream through blackstream.live. So I just want you all to know. So please, if you are already in the show, let me see who's here. Got Hadil Razak, Zambizi Muhammad, Sister Queen, and Brenda Muhammad. Please let me know if you all can hear and if it is clear on both platforms, please. For those of you that are on, Warren, Brother Warren, assalamu alaikum. Would you please go to blackstream.live? I'm going to put it in here so you can see the link. I would like for you all to go to blackstream.live, which is where I'm going to start doing all of my streaming, because that's what I want to do, is support a black business, right? But I also want you all to be able to see how we can do everything that we can do on Facebook, everything that we can do on YouTube, we can do through blackstream.live. So that's going to be the transition. Like I said, God said the same, inshallah, we'll be making that transition in September, in the first week, I should say the second week in September, because the first week in September is my wedding anniversary. I probably will not be doing a show that week. But so there's one other thing. So I'd like you to go to blackstream.live if you can now. And then the other thing is to please add Telegram. Put the app Telegram on your phone or your computer. And that is the format by which we could do the chat directly through blackstream.live. Now, what I'm going to have to do is figure out exactly how I'm going to work that while I'm doing, actually, no, I don't have to worry about that. I can figure it out right now. So for those of you who are on blackstream.live, will you please go to, is there a Blackstream link? Sister Podesta, I put it in the comments, but it's Blackstream, all lowercase, blackstream.live/TUWG. And once you all are there, let me know so I can explain how to do the Telegram, so that we could do the comments directly through the link. And then that way I can do everything in one site and it'll be more efficient, like it used to be when I did one of those other things that was going to both sites at the same time. So let me give a couple more shout outs. We got Salima Shabazz, M1, Darina, L.S. Aliska Aziz. Okay. All right. And then Jerome in the house. So if you all can, please go to blackstream.live/TUWG. And I'm going to give you also a couple of minutes to get Telegram. And once you set up Telegram, I think it's going to be very easy after that, right? So when we come on to the show, like I have right now, I'm up on the Blackstream Live site, blackstream.live/TUWG. Okay, good. To read. Assalamu alaikum, my brother. Okay, so if you're on blackstream.live, then you go to the section that shows the little like comment box, right? You see it on the left hand side. It's the third one down. It's got like the little box with the lines in it, like you put something in there, right? And so you tap that, and then you'll have a little section that comes up to the bottom. It says comments. It have a black line and then an orange line, right, where it says comments. So you tap into comments, and the Telegram little box will come up. And so you put your number in that you signed up with Telegram, and then you hit next. And once you do that, you'll be able to make comments in this section, right? So I'm going to put a comment in there now. I logged in and it says be the first to comment. So I'm going to comment so that you all can see it. You just sent you a message. Oh, okay. So now I got to confirm it. So anyway, that's how you do it, brothers and sisters. You go to let me give a couple more shout outs and I'll get back to it. Lynn Ali, Maya Atta, 8 Electronics, Linda Nzinga, and Ed Purcell, Miss Phoenix 91. Thank you all for coming in. Walaikum salam. Good evening to you all. So for those that just came in, I am on the Blackstream live site, right? And so this is what we have to do. We have to go to Telegram after you go to the live site, right? And then you have to add the Telegram app to your phone or your computer, okay? So once you sign up on Telegram, whatever number that you use to sign up on Telegram, when you go to the Blackstream Live comment section, which is the third icon on the fourth icon on the left, little box with the little lines in it, that's the comment section. Once you hit that box and the comment box comes down at the bottom, a black box with the little orange at the bottom, you touch that, the Telegram box will come up, right? And so whatever number that you put in there, you go to Telegram, and then they'll send a message to Telegram to confirm that you put your number in there and that you want to have Telegram, contact you to the comments. And then once you do that, then you'll be able to come in and comment. So I'm going to put a comment down here. And so let me know if you all can see that. I've put the comment up there. So if you all are on blackstream.live, again, go to the left-hand side and you see the first icon is like the world, right? Second icon is the cell phone. The third icon would be the computer, and the fourth icon would be the little message section. And so you tap that. And then you go into your Telegram. Once you get to the bottom and you hit comments, it's going to say log into your Telegram. You hit that. When you hit that comment, it's going to be a box that's going to come up. Put your number in there. They'll send a message to Telegram. Once you confirm that message that was sent to Telegram, then you should be able to comment on blackstream.live. So if anybody has the ability, please check that out and see if you can send me a comment. Latanya, Sister Valerie, Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam to you both. Thank you for coming in. So I'm going to get started in a few minutes. I'm just trying to give us a few minutes to get on the Blackstream Live. So those who just came in, we're on blackstream.live/TUWG. That is the new streaming place that I'll be doing exclusively within probably the next month. Okay. So take a little time, please go to that site, blackstream.live, /TUWG. And then, of course, you'll have to also get the Telegram app on your phone or your computer. And that's the way we'll be able to continue to comment. So while you all are working on that, I'm going to open up correctly in the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. I further bear witness that God came in the person of Master Father Muhammad, and he taught one from among us. And I know that may sound strange to people, but if we believe God is a man, and that's why I'm saying that, and he taught somebody, we would expect that man to have pretty special or some pretty abilities that are beyond what we typically see, right? And so that's what this show is based on, that wonderful book right there, How to Eat to Live by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, which took the years that I spent in school after I finished medical school, and it put all of that information in the right perspective through those two books. And so that's what I mean. The tree of people and the tree of knowledge that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad produced is greater than what we learn in the schools and what we get from the society. And so that, to me, is proof that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad met with somebody superior than the average person. And of course, the two of them left us not alone, but with a wonderful counselor, friend, and guide during these dark times that part of tonight's discussion is going to be about. And I'm speaking none other than the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And in their names, I greet you in the wonderful words of peace of Assalamu alaikum. I pray that anybody that heard my introduction has never heard that before. You understand that I'm just giving homage to somebody greater than myself who has produced a reality for me to have something to say. And I also want the God we serve to remove my ego and my arrogance so I may be a vessel for your benefit this evening. So, all that being said, is anybody that is on Blackstream.live, is anybody trying to do the Telegram messaging? Hakeem Rashad, thank you, bro. I see you're on Blackstream.live. But if any of you are trying, if you have any hold-ups, let me know. Let's try to work through this for a few minutes, and then we'll get definitely into the show. But I really want everybody to have a comfort level over the next couple of weeks of doing everything through Blackstream.live, because when I make that transition, that's where we'll be doing everything, okay? And Brother Ali that came on a few shows back and actually was explaining everything about Blackstream.live. He and I had a conversation, and I have come to the conclusion and the decision that I'm not going to charge for my Tuesday shows, right? Because that was one of the options. But I've decided to continue doing my Tuesday show. So come into Blackstream Live. It's not going to cost you any money. It's nothing but just the things that I just finished saying. You know, come into Blackstream.live and getting the Telegram app. But there will be some additional possibilities, like certain videos and certain interviews that I may do in addition to Tuesday, that there will be some things that people can support. And I would say just in general, support Blackstream.live. It's a Black-owned company trying to do wonderful things. As those of you who have already seen, it's very, very great quality. It's not average. As Brother Ali and I laugh and joke about sometimes, it's not nigga business. It is actually legitimate, very clean, very quality, excellent, which you all know I try to present myself in a very professional way. I try to do everything from my business that I reach out to people, or that you reach into me. I try to do that very professionally. And I would not be even attempting to associate myself with Blackstream.live if it wasn't that type of quality. I believe in them that much. They've been that much of a support to me. We haven't known each other very long, but I already see it as a family type situation. And I would like for you all to, come join and support in whatever way that you feel like you can. Just come in and watch you. And then telling other people about it is a support. So I'm not only talking about financially, but we can also put our money where our desires and our attention is, right? That's what I decided to do. Legacy 2, Walaikum Salam. Daisy Muhammad says she downloaded the Telegram app and she's waiting for a text from Telegram. Okay. So that's what we're going to have to do, brothers and sisters, in order to make this very efficient, for me not to have to do all of this stuff that could cause more technical difficulties. Again, blackstream.live/TUWG, and then download the Telegram app. The Telegram app. Once you get on the blackstream.live TUWG page, you'll see 5 icons on the left side of the screen. You'll see the world, you'll see a cell phone, you'll see a laptop, and then you'll see a little comment section, and down at the bottom is download. So in that comment section, you hit that, little bar is going to come up at the bottom, hit your icon in the comment section, and a little box will come up. So once you've downloaded the Telegram app, you put your number in there, they're going to send a message to Telegram. And then you go to Telegram and you hit confirm on that message, and then that will give you the ability to comment on the actual blackstream.live TUWG page. Okay. So let me know where you are in that. And if any of you have a chance to comment with me, go ahead and do that. And I'm going to go ahead and get into the show. Okay. So I'm just going to talk and look at your messages, and we'll get it all figured out. Sister Regina Muhammad, Walaikum Salam. Thank you, my sister. So the first update that I wanted to give tonight, brothers and sisters, is about what many of you have, been a part of, and praying for me and the family, and sending your positive vibes and words and energy, was the loss of my daughter last year tomorrow, which is also my birth anniversary, right? So it's been a very difficult process coming up to tomorrow's date. And what I noticed was that at the beginning of the process, I was listening to the minister's janaza, Minister Farrakhan's janaza, on a couple of other people. And I also, of course, was listening to his lectures that really, fed me over the years and helped, support me and get my mind, focus on certain things, and, raising my spirit. And so over the last couple of months, I've been looking towards tomorrow's date, and I've been saying to myself, not really looking forward to that day. And I was really struggling with a lot of emotions and just, things that were being reminded of that day, and it's coming back, the year anniversary, things of that nature. And I really had an epiphany about probably about a month ago. And that epiphany was for me. I'm not saying it should be an epiphany for anybody else, but I wanted to share this because I want people to hear my healing journey, not because I'm looking for attention or, anything. I want to discuss things that Black people typically don't discuss, right? And I noticed that I got to a point where I started trying to find some solace in something, and didn't really connect to the fact that where I went for my solace in the beginning of this process is also where I can find my solace for tomorrow, right? So I didn't need anything new. I don't need another lecture. I don't need another janaz. I don't need another anything. Those same places that we go to get our ability to start working through whatever it is that we're struggling with, that will always feed you, right? I started this program giving homage to Master Father Muhammad, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and Minister Louis Farrakhan. They have shaped the man who you all are listening to in a much better way than I ever was before. Christopher Jones, peace, my brother. And so I realized that going back to fear, faith, and truth, and love and duty, and belief in Allah, and cycles of life. These are all lectures. If you don't know, these are all lectures from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on YouTube, right? So I'll say them again: fear, faith, and truth, cycles of life, love and duty, belief in Allah. There are many more. Of course, when you go and you look at those, if you just pull up those that I just mentioned, many more are going to come up. But my point is that all of those lectures served as a growth factor for me in the years before and since I've been a member of the Nation of Islam. And so I just went back and started listening to those, and it just brought me so much comfort. I went back and listened to the janazah again, some of the janazahs that I listened to, and it just brought me back to a peaceful place where instead of not looking towards tomorrow, I'm looking forward to tomorrow, having a wonderful day in the memory of my daughter and the love and appreciation to Allah that He blessed my life with her. And I pray that my family is also in that mode of gratitude, which will help us all get through the day and the times that are coming up, right? So I wanted to share that, brothers and sisters. If there's something that we get from God, it never runs out, right? It's like a forever wet towel. Every time you go and you grab it, there's going to be some water that's going to come up out of it, right? And of course, when we're talking about scriptures, water represents the word of God. And so the nourishing that we get from water is, from a physical perspective, is synonymous with the word that comes from God that continues to nourish you. It doesn't get old. We can go back to the same word over and over and over and over again, right? Read the same word in the Bible, read the same words in the Quran, listen to the same lectures. If we believe it's coming from a source of God, every time you go back, you get more and more. Like those wonderful books that sit behind me. Every time I read them, it's something new that I get from it. It's never old. It never gets mundane. And so people that say things like the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad need to be updated, or there needs to be updated additions to it. No, not when it's coming from God. It's forever nourishing, and it will not be old. It will not be unable to give you something until there's a new word that supplants it. But until then, we can rely on it. Danita Lake and Sister Queen. Walaikum Salam, Sister Danita, and Sister Queen says, I'm trying to be in that same space with the loss of my mother 1 year in September. Yes, ma'am. So that would be, and I remember that, Sister Queen. You've been in my prayers. I always think about you as I go through my own journey. But try that, my sister. Whatever it was that brought you some benefit in the beginning, go back to it. It's not old. It's going to still serve you. Okay, that's what I am learning to do. So that was the first part. I should say the first two parts, because the first part was to deal with Blackstream.live, and the second part was to just briefly talk about my daughter and the fact that I am absolutely looking forward to tomorrow, taking some peace time. So for all of you, don't reach out to me tomorrow because I won't be answering my phone. It's going to be some me time, okay? But I am absolutely looking forward to tomorrow. So in the next part of this, I pray that you all are on Blackstream.live, because, again, the transition that I'm making, for those of you on YouTube and Facebook, you can't see my screen when I share, right? You can only see this on Blackstream.live. So please go over there, even if you're not able to get to the comment section through Telegram. Check it out, because I want to just show a few slides and talk a little bit about this, where we are right now with this Delta variant. I'm sure all of you are being inundated with all of these sources of information that is talking about the Delta variant, that is talking about the fact that vaccinated people are shedding, and I shouldn't say shedding, are transmitting this Delta variant. And there are many of the scientists, right, that are having discussions about what their philosophy is about why we have seen a large percentage, as I'll show some of these statistics, of those that are getting infected are coming from vaccinated, not from the unvaccinated, right? But as you all know, those of you who are unvaccinated on here, And I'm not against anybody that has been vaccinated. This is not a personal attack on you. You know, I had a friend of mine I was with a little while back, and when he and I were together, he said, "Man, I know how you feel about, people that are vaccinated." I said, "Look, bro, I am not angry, upset at any person that has taken the vaccine. This has been a very tough time. The pandemic that has happened in America, we haven't had one since before any of us were born, right? Our grandparents, some of them may have been alive the last time there was a pandemic in this country, but most of us, I would say probably all of us, have never been in a pandemic. So this is not an easy time. So if your concern, your fear, your whatever caused you to get a vaccine, it's okay. I'm going to talk about that in a little while as well. I'm going to talk about what I think is the best thing that you can do to support yourself if you have had a vaccine, and even if you're starting to have some side effects from that. Or for those of you who know somebody who has taken the vaccine and they or their family members have started to get adverse events, there is something that you can do. We're not going to just leave you out there by yourself to swim this difficult journey by yourself, okay? So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. I just want to make a few points first, and then I want to get to that section at the end. But brothers and sisters, this is not a time where we can allow ourselves to find a way to be against each other, right? Like everything that you're hearing from the news media in general, any type of mainstream information, everything is being blamed on those that have not been vaccinated. The unvaccinated this and unvaccinated this and unvaccinated are the reason why the Delta variant is. The unvaccinated are the reason why there's so many different variants, and they'll keep having variants. That is so untrue. An unvaccinated person has nothing to do with why a virus has a variant. Has nothing to do with why a bacteria develops resistance. These are things that are in nature that everything does to try to survive. Everything that Allah has produced on this planet is trying to survive. And a variant is no different than a black person, a white person, a native person, a brown person being in some situation where you have to try to protect your life. And so if there's a situation that's happening, let's say we're in some public place and somebody starts shooting, and you see the gunfire happening in that direction, and your mind says, I'm going to go in the opposite direction, run as fast as I can to get away. And somebody's in your way, and you push them or you move them out your way because you're trying to get away. That is a product of survival, right? That is an aspect of survival. And so if you wind up hurting somebody or knocking somebody down and something happens to them, that might not necessarily be something that you feel good about, but that's something that you will say to yourself, hey, I was trying to survive. And so a virus, a bacteria, an animal, a human, all are going to try to survive. A variant is an aspect of a virus trying to survive, so it makes its adjustments. And for them to blame that on the unvaccinated is so unscientific, it's ridiculous. There's no science for that. Because if you're not vaccinated, what does it have to do with the virus? Zero. It has nothing to do with the virus. So that's an empty claim that makes no sense. Now, why did I mention that? Because we should not allow ourselves to get pulled into that foolishness to say that we dislike somebody or we got a problem with somebody because they got vaccinated. No. If you are aware enough, if you are educated enough to know not to get the vaccine, whether you're just doing it based on the fact that you are following the instructions of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, or you're doing it because of that and the scientific information that you can put with those words, then you're a wonderful, educated, and spirited person. But that's not a reason for us to dislike a family member or anybody else, right? We have to be on the verge of uniting because we are being pushed to a place of coming away and separating from these people because of what they're getting ready to try to do, right? So that was the point. Let me get to a few comments and then I will move to the next section, okay? Sister Queen, always in prayers and for your family as well. Thank you, sister. Christopher Jones, my condolences and thank the Most High God for healing. Thanks for sharing. Jah brings a new thing if willing. New. Yes, sir. Absolutely, my brother. And that's exactly where it comes from. From that source, right? You call him Jah, I call him Allah. Somebody else might call him another name, but we are talking about the same God. So thank you, my brother. Danita Lake Minister's message has also helped me cope with my dear mother's untimely physical departure. Yes, ma'am. We can love on those people and the gratitude that Allah gave us these people in the time that we had them in our lives, right? Roxanne Coleman, Walaikum Salam, Linda Muhammad, Rashida Anor Muhammad, Walaikum Joshua Stoney, Walaikum Salam to all of you. Miss Phoenix Ali, still cannot comment on Telegram. James Williams, Walaikum Salam, God. Okay, so I tell you what, you all, I'm just going to go ahead with the show, and we'll have to just work on that. Everybody, if you can, just do me a favor, please, and try to download Telegram, and then go to blackstream.live/TUWG, go to the comment section, and hit comment, and it'll send a box. Put your number in to get a verification. It's going to send a message to your Telegram, and then you'll be able to comment. And then every time we do a live show, that's what we'll be doing, is coming straight through blackstream.live. Okay. So I just wanted to mention that today because I want everybody to know that that's where I'm going to make my transition. I'm no longer going to be on sites that continue to cause me problems, right? Eliminating some of my shows and sending me messages about they're going to take down my stuff. Blackstream Live is not going to do that. They're going to allow me to post what it is that I want to post. And not that I'm going to post anything foolish. I'm posting information that I believe is going to help you all. And I believe that as I continue to decipher what's going on around us, I want to make sure that we are educated, right? So please come on with me to blackstream.live, because I will no longer continue through these sites. I will be dropping, little things, but that's mainly to get people to continue to come over to blackstream.live so we can support them and have a place where we can have good conversations without any censorship, right? Like our brother Rizza is going through. They keep knocking down his pages. Well, I'm not going to have that problem with them. My sister, all the way from college days, Kimmy Kim, I'm here for all the information that you're sharing. A close family member almost died with COVID, so I need to hear what information you are sharing. Praise the God we serve. Yes. Thank you. Okay, so thank you, my sister Kim. I appreciate you, and congratulations on the daughter and her college career about to start. We both have a young one going right into college, so it's an exciting time for them. And as parents, it's an exciting time for us, right? Because all they'll do some of the crazy stuff I was doing back then. Okay, so let's get into this information, brothers and sisters. I'm sure that some of you have seen some of these. Some of these clips, right? They're all over social media and other places. But one here says, Israel says the Pfizer COVID vaccine is just 39% effective as Delta spreads, but still prevents severe illness, right? And so they keep on saying these things about how effective these vaccines are. But I just want to point out a few things. I heard somebody talking today about the India cases and how they increased. There was a time when India was at 400,000 cases per day. And it was consistent like that for, I don't remember how long, but it was a while. It was a few weeks, maybe even a month or so. Now, understand that having 400,000 cases a day in America is not likely, because they have over 1 billion people in India. We don't have that many people. But look at the comparison. We have approximately 400, let's just, for easy math purposes, let's look at 400 million people in America, right? Compared to 1.2 billion people in India. And so for them to have 400,000 cases per day in 1.2 billion is probably relative to the fact that yesterday, there were 100 plus thousand new cases in the United States. That's pretty comparable. So, you know, as you all know, a lot of times when you're looking at statistics, statistics can play. They can be played with. People can twist statistics to say whatever they want to. They've been doing that with black people as long as we've been in this country. But specifically for this conversation, when you look at those two realities that I just proposed, 100,000 new cases in one day in a country that has approximately 370 million people, 400 for easy math, versus 400,000 a day in a country that has 1.2 billion people. It's not equal, but I'm using it as a perspective that we can look at, right? Both of these realities are after the immunization or the vaccine program started. India's vaccine program started, I believe, in January. And their cases went out of control, I believe it was around May, either the end of May, beginning of May, somewhere in May. Now, the United States started their vaccine program in December. But if you all remember, it wasn't the average person that was getting the vaccine in December. It was the healthcare workers. And then they had their tier, right? They started at the healthcare workers and they went to the elderly and those that were in, you know, in debilitated states or things of that nature. But the general population didn't start getting the vaccine. I believe it was around March, maybe late February, around March was really when it started to be laid out for the general population. Look at the similarities. So if we're talking about March, April, May, June, July, August, and we're in the middle of a great uptick. I'm going to show the graph in a few minutes of this Delta variant. And if you look at what happened in India, they started their vaccination program in January. January, February, March, April, May is when theirs went up. Around 5 or 6 months in comparison, and similar percentages. Not the same, but similar percentages, right? Now, there are a couple of scientists that are on social media and other places talking about their interaction with producing some of these vaccines. And they're talking about what they found out afterwards. They didn't know all of this information before. So this is similar to what I said before. You know, our sister Kizzy, they put her out there as the face of this new vaccine, right? Oh, look, the vaccine that's going to be good for black people actually came from a black woman. Well, does she really know what happened prior to her getting the information that she got? And does she know what they did with it after it left her desk? Because that's the reality, right? Let's think about the experiment that everybody talks about. There have been thousands, probably, I'll just leave it at that. There have been thousands of other experiments on black people. But of course, the one that most people talk about all the time is what? The Tuskegee experiment. The sister that was the nurse that was doing the injections in black people, do you think she knew? And she came back later on and said she told the truth. She had no idea that those syringes that she was giving to those people was just water. Somebody was lying to her and giving her a syringe that she was supposed to be helping cure these people, and it was nothing that was going to treat them. That's the way we have been treated in this country. That's been our experience. And so if that's what is going on right now, as some of these scientists are saying, that they had no idea that this was the way that this vaccine was going to react in people. So to make it short, get this vaccine, and I'm talking about Moderna and the Pfizer right now, right? You get this vaccine and your body is given the instruction for your cells to produce the spike protein so that your immune system can quickly react to it. Well, now they're saying that this quickly react is your immune system attacking all of your cells that has the potential spike protein on it, because it would be no different than like if this is the cell, the spike protein information is going to make that cell produce a spike protein, right? So now your immune system sees that and says, spike protein, and it may attack your own cells. I'm not saying that's what's happening. I'm saying that a lot of people are talking about that potentially is it. And I was concerned about that from the beginning. When I first read the studies. And I first sat and listened to those EUA, the emergency use authorization meetings that they had to release these things to the public. Those were my concerns. I first had a concern. Me and the team of physicians that I work with, we wrote down our concerns and questions that we had before we went to the meeting. And my question was, I'm concerned that this spike protein information that we're getting from this mRNA vaccine is going to produce a reality in the body that's going to cause us to attack ourselves. I'm not trying to make myself out to be important. I'm just telling you all that I'm thinking my way through everything for the benefit of us, because I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing this because I want to be a place that people can get reliable information. And even if I say I don't know, that's better than lying to you and telling you and trying to make myself seem like I'm smart, right? So at the end of the day, that is my response to something like this, where these companies are having negative things coming out all over the world, and they're similar things. So when you start seeing similar things happening in a whole lot of different places, you shouldn't just negate it and say, oh, they crazy, get the vaccine. We should start asking questions. And as I said earlier today on another show that I did, a righteous response to the VAERS system, which is over 500,000, I'm sorry, 500,000 reports. It's over 500,000 reports of people that had adverse events. I can't remember the exact number of deaths, but it's quite a few. And we're really talking about a very small percentage. At best, I've heard that the VAERS reports represent 3% of the population. So we're talking about these numbers are probably much greater than they really are, right? And so if you have a VAERS system where people are reporting a lot of adverse events with these vaccines, and then we get information after the push of vaccinate, and now we're seeing that the vaccinated people are the ones that are spreading this Delta variant at the highest percentage in some studies. And then we look at the reality that although the media is saying that vaccinated people are getting less severe illnesses and they're not winding up dying, that's not what I'm hearing from doctors that I know around the country. They're seeing unexplainable things that are happening in vaccinated people, and they're seeing a lot of COVID deaths from people that are vaccinated. So the media and the actual results are not equating. And I can't sit here and tell you that I have all the answers, but I can tell you that you need to be careful. You'd be better off fighting to improve your health than to get a vaccine at the dispensation that we're in right now. Okay, so and then the next one is this, just to support, what I'm saying. CDC study shows 74% of the people infected in Massachusetts of the outbreak were vaccinated. That is 100% the antithesis of what has been promoted in the news over the last month about unvaccinated this and the vaccinated are the cause of this and the vaccinated of that. Well, here's a little reality that's proving that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has some divine guidance, right? Because again, as I keep saying, I keep promoting, I think it would be worth everybody, even if you heard it before, to go back and listen to it again. Because to me, when I go back and I listen to it, I'm like, wow, there's something else I just heard that he predicted. And we're seeing it come into reality. So again, when we speak, those of us in the Nation of Islam speak about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, it's not ego worship. It's not idol worship. We are literally watching a man give us information, and we walk into the reality of it like, man, it had to come from a greater place. And so if you delve into that message, it's on NOI.org, the criterion, July 4th, 2020, where he talks specifically about this pandemic. I'm going to do a couple of quotes in a little bit, but there's plenty of information in that and plenty guidance in that. And I think we have to have good guidance, because think about it, brothers and sisters, every single one of you. For those of you, and this is just a rhetorical question for yourself. If you have taken the vaccine, what are you saying to yourself now? What kind of questions are you asking? What kind of confidence do you have in the people who suggested, pushed, or bullied you in to getting the vaccine? Right? It's just something for us to digest within ourselves. And then those of you who have not been vaccinated, whether you're on the fence trying to figure out whether I should do it or whether you're 100% against it and will not do it, how thankful and how much gratitude do you have that you have had some information that kept you from being in that valley of having something in your body and then having to sit back and say things to yourself like, damn, I took the vaccine because I was told that's how I'm gonna protect my mother. And now they're telling me that I could potentially spread it to my mother. See, so you get into this place of torment inside of you because somebody presented something to you and there wasn't enough evidence for them to present it and for you to accept it. Muhammad Al Farouk, wa alaikum salam. Donita Lake, you say, I consult on a clinical board to discuss the impact COVID-19 has on mental health, and my research has led me to conclude that it predominantly has a detrimental effect on the psychology perception, causing paranoia on those vaccinated and those who are not. Yes, absolutely, man. I agree with you 100%. I mean, I'm literally having people reach out to me on a regular basis, you all. I mean, I get many text messages, emails, calls on a daily basis, Monday through Sunday, Sunday through Monday, all around the clock. People are in torment. Had somebody reach out to me, their mother got the shot, I think about 3 months ago, but she was doing everything to help boost her immune system, spending time outside, trying to eat right, doing things to make her immune system right, gets the shot, gets sick within 2 weeks. Many people are reaching out to me saying that. Many people are reaching out to me saying, oh, I'm so twisted in my mind because they keep pushing. Everybody in my family is telling me I should do it, I this and that. You're going to protect people. And they're in torment. And then those of us that have decided that we're not going to get it, some of us are in torment because we're like, oh, what's going to happen? Are they not going to let me go to the grocery store? They're not going to let me travel. Or they're not going to let me this, not going to let me that. I'm going to deal with that in a few minutes, all right? Because at the end of the day, Brother Dr. Akili only has one mind, right? I'm only one mind in a group of minds. But I can only tell you that I am absolutely dedicated to my stance. And my stance is, number one, with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. That is my leader. That's my teacher. That's my guide. He says something, I go with it. Sometimes I don't necessarily understand some of his direction, but I'm going to stick with it because he's never let me down, nor has the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So I'm going to stick with them no matter what. But if I don't understand it, especially in a time like this, I'm just going to have to say, hey, no vaccine, but I'm learning every day why I should not take this vaccine. So I'm getting a whole lot of information to support my stance to follow him. And so for those of us who have other reasons and other stances, it's okay. But what I will say is do the best you can and then roll with what you got. But I would say be very careful taking an injection where the information that you have heard from this organization or this thought process or this government institutions that are pushing the vaccine on you, what have they done to gain your confidence? They said something in February of 2020, and then they say something completely contrary in April of 2020, let alone April 2021. The information is changing from 1 month to the next. It was just 2 months ago they were telling everybody, if you're vaccinated, you can go back into society free. You can go to concerts, sporting events, and you don't have to wear a mask. But last week they said something totally different. How can you have confidence in people that are giving you that type of information? How can you have confidence in somebody that tells you to get vaccinated? And now we're seeing that 74% of people in just one state. If you believe that's only happening in Massachusetts, I'm here to tell you, no, that's happening in most places in this world right now. I have to touch base with something that I said before and something that some of us probably have done research on. If you think about the fact that the last pandemic that touched America was the Spanish flu, in the early 1900s, there are many scientists from that time and since that said that the infection and the deaths increased and spread after vaccinations. And I said early in this pandemic that if we got to a place where they have and produced a vaccine for this pandemic, that we may be following what happened in the Spanish flu. I don't know if that's what's happening. I'm not here to try to act like I know everything, but I have a fear. As I said a few months ago, I was expecting that the numbers were going to go up just the same way they did in India. It's almost a mirror image of what's happening in America right now. And so I'm expecting it to happen in other countries too. And the numbers are increasing. I just don't know a lot about some of the other countries' vaccine programs. It just takes a lot of research to stay up. And so doing a lot of research on other countries sometimes is difficult. But brothers and sisters, the point that I'm getting to is that you, based on what you've seen since this pandemic started, you should have no confidence in what the CDC, the NIH, the American government, the president, Fauci, or any of these people say. You should not have any confidence because they haven't proven to you that you should have confidence in them. So if that is your same stance, then what you should do is not take the vaccine. What you should do is do the best you can to promote your immune system, and let's work our way through this reality regardless of the circumstances. We stand together, we'll be a whole lot better than standing apart, right? Donita Lake says, what is your stance on the vaccinated being the super spreaders? I believe that. I'm going to explain it in just a second. Joshua Stoney, I love you, and I agree with everything that you were saying 100%. Thank you, my brother. Sandra Muhammad saw this today because I'm sick of going back and forth with people. African Americans are not afraid of research and treatment because of Tuskegee. They are afraid of research and treatment because of 4 centuries of abuse in the medical arena. Harriet Washington, and guess what? She took the shot after writing the book, Medical Apartheid. Yeah. Walaikum salam, Khalida. Yeah, sister, I truly respect and honor Harriet Washington for the work that she has done in her book, Medical Apartheid, as well as the one that she wrote that's called, I forgot the name of her second book. But anyway, I'll probably think of it in a minute. But I was very disappointed in her stance because when it was time for them to start suggesting that Black people be part of the studies, a lot of different entities reached out to her to make comments. And those were her comments, is that, yeah, we should be a little wary of this and that, but we should allow ourselves to be experimented on. It was such a forked tongue. And not that she's a forked person. I'm not saying she's a bad person, but the mind frame that she has to have such a exquisite vocabulary and exquisite ability to decipher information and present it in such a wonderful way in her books, and then not to be able to think through the reality of how we're being tricked. I mean, your book is a reason that many people won't be tricked, but you fell for the trick and you wrote the book. Again, I'm not knocking her. I have much respect for her, but it was very disappointing when I heard her try to suggest Black people be part of these experiments. It's just extremely wicked, I would say, in how our enemy has turned so many of us. And so many of us, a lot of times, are on the side of the enemy. And sometimes we don't even know it. I don't necessarily know if she does or doesn't. I would lean on the fact that she probably doesn't know that what she's doing is going to have a detriment with our people in the long run, I believe. But at the end of the day, that's the reality of what we're dealing with, a lot of our people. Now, imagine this. Magic Johnson, Arsenio Hall, what's that singer's name? Man, I can't think of the guy's name, but he did like in Chicago area, he's doing commercials to get vaccinated. And then Juvenile, rapper from Master P's camp, No Limit Records, he did a song with the producer Manny Fresh about getting vaccinated. And I saw something today where they had some Black man in the hood. I don't know where he's from, but he's talking about, I'm a hustler and I done came up and been a businessman in my hood all my life. And, we got to protect the community. So get vaccinated. Like, what? If you've been a hustler in the hood all your life, what the hell do you know about a mRNA vaccine? You ought to shut up and sit down and let those of us who are in this field speak to the people. It's just amazing to me. But my point is this: what are they going to think? And what is their spirit going to be like when our people start dying? If it happens, I pray that it doesn't. I pray that God protects every person that's not an evil person that took this shot. But if that doesn't happen, if people succumb to the reality of this vaccine, what do all those people's names that I mentioned, what do you think is going to happen to them? Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, Oprah Winfrey, all these people that went into public scenes and took a vaccine to promote Black people, especially, to take the vaccine. What is going to happen to them? They're going to be in severe turmoil unless they have bought some other reality so badly that they don't even connect with us anymore, which is possible. But at the end of the day, if they have any conscience, they're going to suffer. John Legend. Yes, ma'am. That's what I was thinking about. Sister Kalila, thank you. Let me see a couple more comments and I'm going to get into the rest of these slides, okay? Legacy 2, you welcome. Yes. Loretta Muhammad says, how can we determine if we may have been infected from spike proteins from vaccinated people? Are we safe to go to hospital visits and grocery stores? To be honest with you, my sister, that's an excellent question. And I will just tell you that anytime I'm in public, anytime I'm interacting with anybody, I am going to process that person could potentially infect me, regardless. I don't care whether they're vaccinated, unvaccinated, because either way, we have to protect ourselves in that way. I don't know anything else to tell anybody. I don't have any magic thing to say, hey, look, if a person got vaccinated and they're having trouble, they should do such and such. I'm going to give a suggestion in a minute, but there's nothing from mainstream medicine nor any other perspective that I think is going to do that. Even everybody right now that's going crazy about ivermectin, let me give us some ivermectin pills to keep on me just in case. All the studies of ivermectin aren't good. Everything about ivermectin isn't just wonderful. Ivermectin is something that I've used in the past when I was a prescriber, and that has major potential side effects. So the reality is that the water is really muddy, right? And what we're going to have to do is do the best thing we can to protect ourselves. And so I'm avoiding any large gatherings. I'm not going around any groups of people. If there are vaccinated people that I have to be around, I'm going to mask up. And if they're just people in general, like when I go to the grocery store, I have to go handle any business where I'm going to be in public, like on a regular basis when I'm sending supplements to some people that are getting them from me, I go to the post office, I mask up. But, we all have to protect ourselves as if we are going to be infected by these people. That's the only thing I know. Do I know the reality that a person can spread the spike protein when they've been vaccinated? I really don't know, to be honest with you, because there's studies out there that say one thing and there's studies that say the exact opposite. I don't have any experience nor enough laboratory work to be able to say one or the other. So I leave that alone. But what I can say is that even if you're vaccinated and you can spread something, I'm not necessarily sure that could be worse than the actual infection. I could be wrong. But at the end of the day, I'm protecting myself from both as if they have the potential to kill me. At the same time, I'm trying to get as much sunshine as I can. I'm eating my navy bean soup on the days that I eat. I'm eating vitamin C rich foods regularly. I'm eating vitamin D rich foods regularly. I'm getting my zinc. I'm getting my selenium. I'm getting my quercetin. All of those things on a regular, everyday basis. I look at what's on my plate and I say, man, I'm getting some of this today. I'm getting outside. I'm sweating. I do my exercise outside in the sun at the hottest part of the day, sweating like crazy, which is just like getting in a sauna, which is an excellent detoxification program. So those of you who don't want to get out in the hot sun like I do, go to not necessarily get out here to go to a gym if there are a lot of people, but if you have access to a sauna, go to a sauna. But if you want to stay safe, then do it out in the sun. You know, if it's not very hot where you live, put on a couple layers of clothes and go walk in the sun where it's 70, 80 degrees, and you get that heat up and sweat a lot, and you'll help detoxify yourself. Getting rid of toxins is another way to boost the immune system. Great question. I pray that I answered it. Kimmy Kim, what do you do when you don't take the vaccine, but the virus ravages your family? I mean, that's it, my sister. I mean, the virus has ravaged my family. A lot of people in my family, and actually a real good friend of mine, just within the last couple of weeks, he and two of his daughters were sick, and his sister did not make it. They all got infected in a little family gathering. So, you know, it doesn't make a difference how bad this gets, how great the numbers get. I'm going to continue to lean on what I just finished saying, because I believe my immune system has the ability to protect me from it. And then the last thing, of course, that I'm going to talk about this evening is the immune boosting supplement that I am a distributor for. Anybody that doesn't believe that they're doing enough, or doesn't believe in what they are doing enough to have confidence, or if you're just not doing what you think you need to do, I have not had one person that's taking this immune boosting supplement that works in high risk areas in hospitals, ICUs, COVID floors, or people that are taking it for prevention. Nobody has gotten sick enough to make it to the hospital. There's only been a few people that have gotten sick, period. But those that got sick, they had symptoms for a little while and they got over them. Nobody that has gotten the supplement from me that has taken it during this pandemic has succumbed. Not one. And none of those people that are in the high risk environments have even gotten sick that are taking it on a regular basis and doing their due diligence to keep themselves protected. So I pray I answered your question, Kim. Danila, many who have gotten vaccinated are having outbreaks of COVID Delta variant. That's right, for sure. Loretta Muhammad says, what are your thoughts on COVID tests? Are they safe and accurate or even necessary? Is it true they only measure cold virus? No, my understanding is that these COVID tests are specific. You know, there's something that I heard the other day, or I shouldn't say I heard, I read that when a lot of the companies around the country, that's not true, around the world, a lot of different countries around the world have patented coronavirus, specific coronavirus infections. And they also have gotten a whole system of, let's say, economic structure around that virus. So for instance, let's say if China patented alpha coronavirus, and then they produced a specific type of test, and then they produced a specific vaccine and a medication and gowns and hoods and face protectors. You see what I'm saying? So that's what this person was talking about. They were talking about each one of these countries that have had a patent on a specific type of coronavirus have also produced a reality for their country that they make a lot of money in all these other aspects. And this was long before this pandemic started. And while I'm on that subject, I'd like to thank everybody that sends me videos, whether it's IG, Facebook, email. Thank you all, because, you know, I'm doing research on a regular basis, and a lot of the things that you all send me helps me stay up. And that was something that somebody, I think my brother, Roderick Adams, sent me. I believe it's one, you know, I get confused sometimes. There's so much information comes from so many places, but that was pretty amazing to sit and listen to this guy talk about these different coronavirus patents, and then the different type of tests, swabs, and all that kind of stuff. So I say all that to say that a lot of these tests for COVID are specific. They're specific to the coronavirus. And these companies have, you know, made a lot of money on these tests. So I don't necessarily think that they're not specific to coronavirus. Now, would I take a test? Absolutely not. There's absolutely no reason for me to take a coronavirus test. Because if I develop symptoms, if I lose my taste or my smell tomorrow, or I develop any other cold type symptom. I haven't been sick, as I told you all, in 18 years. So if I get sick right now, I'm pretty much going to know that it's the coronavirus. Why do I need to get tested? What would be the reason for any person to know what it was that infected them? Because let's just go back 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. If you got a flu, if you got a cold, did you go get tested for what type of virus caused a cold? There are different viruses that cause a cold, rotavirus, adenovirus. There are many, right? There are many different strains of the flu, but we don't go get a test to find out what strain of the flu we had. We just do our diligence to get over it, make sure we don't infect it. We should be making sure we don't infect anybody in our family, anybody else when we're infected. But once you get over it, what do? Go back to regular life. So in all honesty, sister, unless I was in a house with a family member that was very sick and I needed to know to protect them in some kind of way, I might think about doing, but I probably would come up with some other plan other than getting tested to protect them. That's just my personal view. I don't want to have anything to do with the reality of this whole thing that I know is a lot of propaganda. And so that's kind of the way that I explain it. I hope that makes sense. I hope I answered your question. Sister Regina says, my niece works at a hospital in Georgia. She's on the COVID ward. She says that the ward is filled up with patients who took the jab and are now suffering with COVID, that they are not reporting how the vax are coming at a rapid pace. That's right. So there's another addition to what I told you all. I'm talking to nurses, doctors that I know all around the country, and the reports that they are giving, as it has been probably for the last, I'd say 5 to 6 months, are almost the opposite of what is being fed to us through the media. So we better stop trusting the media is the main reason that I'm mentioning that. Marvin Muhammad just joining on. Who is brother referring to and what book? I was talking about Harriet Washington and medical apartheid. Okay, so you're commenting on, okay, well, let me go check. Thank you, Sister Loretta. No, I don't see any comments yet. But that's all right. We're going to figure it out. We're going to get it right. Blackstream Live is a place to be, brothers and sisters. So we're going to get it right. We're going to be on there, right? Legacy 2. If the vaccines are so great, why is there a need for the booster? Hey, that's a good point right there. And if you all notice, they keep talking about the fact that the vaccine is not going to last that long and the immune system is not going to last that long. Don't believe these lies, y'all. The immune system is going to remember what you fight for the rest of your life. It doesn't stay at a high level, right? When you get infected with something and you immediately get over it, of course the levels are high. Why? You just finished fighting it. But as time goes on, those levels still drop, but your body is perfect. Allah made these bodies perfect. It will not forget. It will always be able to attack something quickly. And so for any of you that have gotten the infection, not the vaccine, but the infection, trust and believe your body is better equipped to fight Delta, Lambda, and any other label they put on the rest of the variants that come. Trust. I'm not saying walk around and be crazy, but trust that your system is strong enough and that you can rely on the way your system fought. Keep building your immune system. Keep being careful, but trust in your immune system. You do not need a vaccine at all. So thank you for bringing it up. Maya Abdul Rahman, this is nothing but truth. Our praise is due to Allah. This is being said. Mask up, take precautions. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Kimmy Kim, reach out to me. I got the supplement. I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes, so please stay tuned because I want you all to hear what I have to say about this supplement. And I know for a fact that those of you who come on a regular basis and like you, Kimmy Kim, who know me personally, you know I don't do things for the sake of money, right? I believe I should get paid for what I do. I try to be the best at what I do, but I don't have money as the prevailing idea in what it is that I do. But I'm here to tell you, brothers and sisters, that you should get some of this immune boosting supplement. It doesn't have to be for me if you want to go through other people, but I'd rather you go through me since you're hearing it from me. But it is a very good supplement. I just gave you my statistics. right? And I'm not going to do any study. I'm not going to try to prove this to anybody. Only people I have to prove this to is to you. And there are plenty of people on here and others, and I'm going to do a show in a few weeks where people that I have used the immune supplement with are going to come and tell their testimonies, because I want you all to hear this information. Again, that show is not to help support selling the supplement. The show is going to be to help you understand that we don't need ivermectin. We don't need these monoclonal antibodies, which are experimental drugs. We don't need all of the stuff that people are getting in the hospitals. We don't need that. Now, if you wind up in a hospital, you should get what it takes to get well and get up out of there. But for those of us that are trying to keep ourselves from going, the supplement is very important and has protected people. And I have to keep speaking it, because if I didn't, then it would be my fault that I didn't share that information. I pray you agree. I bear witness. I worked directly with COVID patients for a little over a year and didn't get infected. All praise is due to Allah. Yes, ma'am. My wife, Tawana, says, replying, oh, we can, okay. All right, so I'm about to get back to the show. Tammy Wingate, thank you for coming in, my sister. I was forced to take the test in order to have a medical procedure done. Yeah, I mean, you know, situations like that, my sister, I don't think we should have any. There's not one solitary ounce of negativity that I think you or any other person should feel towards yourself, or anybody should feel towards you. If you had to get something done, if there was something that you needed to take care of, you got to do what you got to do. These systems are made to be what they are, and they're going to have their way. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, don't get down on yourself because you had to take that test. Just start realizing that going forward, if there's anything that test could have done negative to you, now you're going to build your system to quell that and destroy that, right? Because there are a lot of things out there that people say. I don't know whether they're true or they're not. George Allen, Walaikum Salam. Sonia Walker, how do you feel about schools making students get tested every week for students not vaccinated? Sister, you know, the only thing that I can say is that Black people have to make up our minds that we're not going to continue to put our children in a system that is destroying them. You know, quick thing, like there are two things I want to say on that. Number one of the worst things that we do with our children is put them in a system where we wake them up in the morning because they got to be somewhere on time. Do we know that children grow while they're asleep? That is the growth aspect of a child. And so in a society that we put together with righteousness and the health of our being first, you let a child sleep until they wake up naturally, because that's when their body is finished. And when their mind is finished being, the memories put in the right place and the brain pathways being taken care of. That happens while children are asleep. Waking a child up at 5 o'clock in the morning because they got to get up and get ready and eat and get on a bus and go an hour away. You're destroying some of the natural realities of your child. I'm not trying to make anybody feel guilty. Hell, I did it to my children. But at the end of the day, we have to build our own societies that support our children. And the best support for a child is to allow them to wake up when they're ready. Second thing, children getting things like getting their foreskin, you know, the circumcision, or strapping children down for certain procedures when they're babies. And that is so barbaric. I'm not saying when it's absolutely necessary. I'm talking about things that we can wait and do. We have to have much more patience and much more thought process that go into what we allow our children to be exposed to. And so that just took me off track for a minute, sister. I would say that if I had small children that were school age at this time in my life, I would not allow them to go to a public school. It would have to be a school that would make sense with my frame of mind. And right now, no matter what school my child was in, if I had small children, they would be online or they would be homeschooled, because I wouldn't allow my children to go back into a society. Number one, is amazing because I don't know how many of you heard the lecture from Brother Abel Muhammad 2 Sundays ago on NOI.org, but he talked about the reality that the suicide rate has been going up the whole time this pandemic has gone on. And a lot of people were speaking from the perspective that that suicide rate was going up because children weren't in communal realities like school and things of that nature. But they actually found that when school was opened up, that suicide went even higher because of the bullying. Now, what do you all think is going to happen to an unvaccinated child in a public school in today's day and time? The bullying is going to go to a whole nother level. And it's going to be very vitriolic because these children are watching their vitriolic parents talk crazy and watch shows that are talking crazy about unvaccinated people. You see what I'm saying? So I don't think putting my child in a school today would be smart at all if my child is my primary concern. Now, if my comfort, I want the child out of my house. I need a little time to myself. I got to go to work. If those things are more important than your child, then we'll continue to make mistakes as a people. But if we take the time that we're in right now and find a way to unify and to be able to help each other, right? Like, what if there are 4 or 5 of us that live in a certain community or a certain mile radius of each other, and instead of one person having to do their child, we make a little rotation where, hey, look, you take care of the children on this couple of days, I'll do this couple of days or this week, and we rotate. And your children are being educated by somebody that knows you, that loves you, that's going to take care of your child instead of your child being in a warehouse perspective, because that's what schools and daycare centers are. They really don't care. It's a job. So that's my 2 cents. I pray I didn't hurt anybody's feelings, but that's my truth, right? Kim Jordan, can you please inform us about monoclonal infusion? Yes, ma'am. So a monoclonal infusion means that what they did was they went into a laboratory and they decided to make a specific antibody towards something specific about this coronavirus, right? That's one way. The other way is that they take blood out of somebody who has fought the infection, and then they go through these processes of pulling out certain types of antibodies, and then they infuse somebody else's antibodies into you. Those are the 2 ways that they can do monoclonal antibodies. One is made in a laboratory, meaning it's, what am I trying to think of? It's synthetic, and the other one can come from humans, right? So monoclonal antibodies that are made in a laboratory, it's all experimental. It's all been just like brand new since this thing started. And there are many studies that saying that it really doesn't serve much of a purpose. Even though there are a lot of doctors that work in emergency rooms that saying it did serve a purpose. So that's that dichotomy again, like I talked about at the beginning of the show. Sometimes you get information and say one thing and then you'll hear something else the exact opposite, right? But then the other thing is that there are a lot of studies that are coming out right now that are talking about the long-term potential side effects. Now, if you get some from a human, that's probably a lot more safe. But my problem with that is that if you have fought the infection and you have antibodies in your body, why would you give that up? So if you're going and you see these signs in Black neighborhoods all over the country, come donate your plasma. So if you donate your plasma, you're donating your protection. That's like, just for an example, that's just like a mother just having a baby and you at home in a neighborhood where there are a lot of break-ins going on, and you see a few people come towards your house and look like they might be robbing you, and you get in your car and leave your wife and your child in the house. All the protection is gone. It doesn't make any sense. So please, if you have gotten the infection, the amount of money that they're going to pay you to take your plasma out is not worth it. Keep your plasma so you keep your protection. Kim Jordan, I pray I answered your question. Please let me know. Kimmy Kim, what do you recommend for people who have already taken the vaccination? I'm going to get to that in a few minutes. Great question. Great question. Folks think the testing is a cure for something. It's crazy. Yes, I can get Blackstream to work for me. I can't get Blackstream. Okay, we're going to work on that next time, my sister Linda. But thank you for trying. I appreciate that. Watching on Blackstream, still need to figure out how to chat. Okay, Etta Purcell, we'll get to that. Okay, I give you all my word that next Tuesday, I will not be having a show, but the Tuesday after that, we're going to spend the first 15 minutes on getting everything right with Blackstream Live, and I'll ask Brother Ali to come on and help us with anything that maybe I don't know. Okay. My wife again, she says, I have a cousin who had COVID. He was hospitalized and was then saying he was going to get the vaccine. I asked him why. If he had the virus, doesn't the immune system remember the virus? If so, why would anyone need a vaccine after having the virus? Exactly. And all the studies are supporting that statement that if you have been infected, you do not need the vaccine. Your body is better prepared than you will be with a vaccine. That is actual facts. My brother George out here, he got yours. He got the best one. I'm gonna talk about that in a minute though. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate you. Okay, in just a minute, I'm gonna give everybody information on the. I'm gonna give everybody information on the supplement. Okay, I want to get back to FYI Barber. Thank you. Walaikum salam. Monique Swigert, homeschooling is West. That's right, my sister. That's another one of my homies from college. She and Kimmy Kim, my homies way back from Prairie View days. Joshua Stone, you only get sick once a year, but this year I had got sick twice, so I had eaten my bean soup and I'm good now. Praise God. So a brother like yourself, bro, you put your information out there. I'm just gonna say, if you get sick once a year, that's not a bad thing. But what I would like to do is help you get your immune system to a place where you say, I don't get sick anymore, right? Because being sick once a year means that there's a certain time of the year, usually in the cold months, where your immune system takes a dive. And so what we have to do is we have to do things like right now. Everybody that's listening to me, to my voice tonight, if you live in America, you should be going all out for the next month or so to get as much hot sunshine as you can to boost your immune system, to give those type of nutrients that will last for a few months after they start to wane. I'm talking about the sun starts to wane, the hotness of the sun starts to wane, okay? This is the time where we build ourselves for the cold months, all right? So thank you for that, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you, Monique. All right, y'all, I'm gonna jump back in the show so I can get finished on time, okay? And then I'll get back to the question. So for those of you on Blackstream, you can see my screen. Here's the next one. Here's Illinois. 100 fully vaccinated have died. 644 fully vaccinated hospitalized. And 2.44% of people who died were fully vaccinated. Now, what you keep hearing is these people in mainstream media saying that they're, what is it? I think 100, I don't remember the exact number, but it's over 100,000 people that have literally got infected after being vaccinated. And that's like, I think 0.1%, 0.16%, something like that of vaccinated people. The problem with that is that that's not accurate information. There are a lot of people that are reaching out to me, as I said earlier, and my wife can bear witness. My wife has been helping me for the last few weeks in my business. I get calls, texts, emails every day, multiple, of people from around the country and around the world concerned about the information that they are getting. And in many of these people, they are people that have been vaccinated, that since they've been vaccinated and then they got vaccinated, they got sick, or they got vaccinated and they're seeing all this information and they are through with this system. They are totally disenfranchised with anything mainstream. So to me, when we look at the statistics that are coming out of theirs, we could probably multiply that by 10 and would be closer to accuracy. If we look at the statistics of these people talking about how many breakthrough cases, we probably could multiply that by 20, 30, 40, or 50 and be closer to the accuracy. Because when I go and I listen to some of these scientists that were part of these vaccine production companies, and they're talking about what they found after the fact. My theory, when this pandemic first started, I believe is true. And again, you all, when I know something, I don't say theory. When I know something, I say I know what I know. It's still a theory because I haven't had a chance to prove it yet. And it's very difficult to prove. But my theory is that when you get a vaccine, this one and all the others, there's a period of time initially where your immune system takes a dive, right? Because it's getting something new and it has to attack it, it has to figure things out. Anytime your body goes through that process, just like getting sick, your immune system takes a small dive and then it starts to build itself back up. Now, if you have a serious problem that has been injected into your body, which has been with the vaccine, and see, these people keep saying that vaccines, you get shot in that one area and the vaccine stays. That's never been the reality of a vaccine. That is a straight up lie. When you inject something into a muscle, the muscle sends the ability to wall it off. And so it keeps it there, but it slowly releases it into the bloodstream over time. Some of you have had vaccines and you felt the knots. Some of you have children and you took them to get vaccines. You felt the knots in their legs or in their arms. And then as time goes on, what happens? That little knot goes away. Well, the knot was the body saying, we're going to keep this right here. We don't know what the hell this is. This is some foreign stuff. We're going to keep it right here. But it slowly releases it because it's getting rid of it. So as the body is getting rid of it out of that injection site, that stuff is going into the body. Everywhere the blood flow is going, it's going. And so if we have something that's highly toxic and maintains its toxicity, or its toxicity worsens over time, like a spike protein being made in all your cells, then potentially your immune system could take a dive and never make a recovery. And so imagine somebody got the injection in January, February, March, whenever. The numbers were coming down. They were going up in March and they were coming down towards the end of March. By the time June got here, the numbers in America were very low. And I remember saying on multiple occasions, people are going to get tricked because they're thinking that it's the vaccine, but it's not. It can't be the vaccine. Every other country in the world had a decrease in their numbers, and not one of them, that's not true. 99% of them had no vaccine programs. Eventually, all viruses in a pandemic or an epidemic, they eventually wane. It's just the nature of the reality. Even if you do nothing, they're going to come down at some point. But now we're being shown, right? If you all go to the Worldometer site, the Worldometer site, and you go to the United States, after you finish looking at all the cases in the different states, look at the graph at the bottom. I was going to show it tonight, but I'm running out of time. I'm already out of time. I should have ended the show, but you all asked some great questions, and we needed to have this interaction, right? But in March, if you look at that graph, the graph went up kind of like that. If you look at the graph that's happening now, it's on a more steep incline. So the graph is of number of infections over time. So this line of your graph over here is infections, and this one down here is time. So as you're going up, it's the rate of increase of your infections. So going up like this and going up like this is drastically different. One is a slow increase, and one is a more drastic increase. This infection and this wave that we're going through right now is a steeper incline than the one that happened in March when everybody was going crazy in this country. So we have to be prepared that things might get pretty bad over the next few weeks. So let me finish these last two slides. I want to get to the supplement, and then I want to go ahead and let you all get back to your evening. And I thank you all who are interacting. I thank you all for coming and being patient with me. Give me, guys say the same 30 minutes and I'll be finished, okay? So I want you all to see this and hear what the minister said in July 4th of 2020. Mr. Dershowitz, if you bring the vaccine and say you're going to bring your army to force us to take it, once you try to force us, that's a declaration of war on all of us. You only have this one life. Fight like hell to keep it, and fight like hell to destroy those whose heart and mind is to destroy you and take your life from you. Do you all know, brothers and sisters, that I have literally heard information that the Army National Guard is already being sent to different places around the country because they are going to be part of a forced vaccination campaign. They're talking about coming to people's doors. They're talking about not letting you go back to work. They're talking about not letting you go back to the grocery store. Well, you better start planting some seeds, start working on your garden, start working on whatever else it takes for you to maintain being alive, because I mean, the question is, if we are not planning on taking the vaccine, what do they think forcing us is going to do? It's going to force us to be more unified, because God doesn't give information like that. I believe that the minister's mouth is God. So the God doesn't give you information like that and gonna leave you out there by yourself. We're gonna have some support, brothers and sisters. So don't be wary. Don't let fear drive you. We're going to make it through this, and we're not gonna do it with a vaccine. All right. Another statement that the minister made July 4th, 2020. Put this in context, right? July 4th, 2020. America, you won't solve it. The scientists of the world, you won't solve it. Guess what? I want to tell you what will solve it. Are you ready? This virus is a pestilence from heaven. So scholarship from hell can't deal with a pestilence that came from heaven. And if you listen to the scientists of this world right now, they're absolutely confused. They don't know what the hell is going on, and they don't know how to manage what we are watching happening every day. So the best thing that you can do, brothers and sisters, is get yourself prepared to make it the best way you can. Because actually I got the wrong bottle. So this is the immune boosting supplement. I pray that you can see it. I think you can. If you're on Blackstream Live, can you see that okay? Yeah, that came out okay. ImmunoBoost 100, right? Those of you on YouTube or Facebook, ImmunoBoost 100. You can reach out to me, 832-429-4576. You can go through the website, The Ultimate Wellness Group, or send me an email, theultimatewellnessgroup@gmail.com. Now, my brother George Allen just mentioned a few minutes ago that he got his. Now, this is the one that he is on, but that's for a different reason. I'm not going to put his business out there, but this is one that is for people that are dealing with something a little more serious. But for those of you that just want to protect yourselves from this virus, this is the best thing that I know you can get. Not ivermectin, not all this other stuff that they're trying to promote, but ImmunoBoost 100. Okay? Reach out to me and let me know if you're interested. I've been sending this to people all over the country and all over the world. But this is what I was talking about earlier, where those that have reached out to me since the beginning of this pandemic, and I've had people that work in the ICU and people that work on COVID floors and people that have been in households with other people with COVID. My mother got COVID more than likely from my brother. She had been taking it for a year and he hadn't taken it. He was in the hospital for 9 days. My mother's 85, he's only 50, and she never went to the hospital. Same household, same genetics, same eating habits, same reality. I put that on the ImmunoBoost supplement. So if you have anything that makes you not completely confident in making it through these times, reach out to me. Again, this is not about money. This is about you having the confidence that you can make it through this time. That's what I'm concerned about. Hell, money is going to come. I've always made money and I always will be able to make money. But to me, to be able to give people that trust me some information that they can rely on is much more wealthy than any dollar amount that I have in my bank account. Okay, that's just the honest truth, brothers and sisters. And I have quite a few videos that you can listen to and see testimonies and hear information about specifically about them. And those of you who were on the show a couple of weeks ago when Brother Victor and Brother Eric were here, and we have 2 new products that we're going to be presenting. But you know, there's a process, right? This isn't like a medication where we have fallen into this silly idea. I don't mean to offend anybody if you think this way, but if you think that you can live 40 years and not drink enough water, or live 40 years and you're eating meat all the time, live 40, 50 years and don't eat enough fruits and vegetables, live 40, 50 years and don't exercise, and then wind up with these medical problems, and you're going to go to a doctor, he's going to write a prescription, and that pill is going to solve a problem that took 40 to 50 years to produce. That's a mentality that we have to kill. That's not even a thinking that we should have anymore. And if that hurts your feelings, I apologize, but that is truth. And sometimes the truth hurts, right? We cannot think that way. There's no magical reality. And so these new supplements that we're going to present, there's a plan that has to go with them. But those of you who get the supplement from me, that's the way it's been from day one. I've never told you all that this supplement was magic. I'll just keep smoking and partying and, Cirocking it up and Grey Goosing it up and being around these crowds and not doing anything right and just take the supplement. You're going to be good. I've never lied like that. You have to be trying to do something to support your system in order to get the benefit from this as well. But the statement that I wanted to make is twofold, actually threefold. The first is that this is promoting a system that is innate to our bodies. And again, I'm not going to go in depth. If you want in-depth information, I can give you those videos and you can go listen to it and get fully educated, right? But this is something that's innate to the body. So yes, you do have the ability to boost this without this supplement, but it takes diligence. It takes hard work. It takes working on your health every day, right? So that's what we have to do with or without the supplement. Please make sure you're doing something every day. Like I said, everybody should be trying to get as much hot sun for the rest of this summer and until it gets cold in your area of the country that you can. Okay. Secondly, if any of you have taken the vaccine or any of you know somebody that's taken the vaccine, I don't know anything better to suggest to them other than this supplement. Why am I saying that? The first reason I'm saying that is because of my research, in that if you look at the way a virus affects a human body, this is supporting the system that fights the virus ability to affect us. So even the vaccine is still trying to introduce a viral associated mechanism. And so when you're taking a supplement that helps your body fight a virus associated reality, then this is the only thing I knew to suggest. I had a conversation with Brother Victor, and he's the maker of this product, and he and I came to the same conclusion, conversation that we had. And then he just, we had a conversation the other day, and that's what he said. Hey, we have evidence now because of the different distributors around the country, and we're looking at cases and we're looking at how people are responding. People are having some beneficial response by taking this if they've had a vaccine and they're having negative consequences. Am I saying it's magical? Am I saying it's going to work for everything? Am I saying it's absolutely guaranteed going to do something? Absolutely not. But I don't know anything better to tell you to do, because there's nothing that I've said today that's guaranteed. Get some sunshine, drink your water, hydrate, eat vitamin C rich foods, eat vitamin D rich foods, get your quercetin, get your selenium, get your zinc, which are in those same foods. Stay active, stay away from large crowds, wear your mask when you're around people. You can do all of that, still die. Because I've just finished hearing about somebody today, 23-year-old young man, no medical problems. Everybody thought he was very healthy, very good, physically fit and all that, died yesterday. There's no guarantee. And I'm not trying to make any guarantee, because I don't want anybody to say, Dr. Akili said I'm guaranteed. No, I didn't say that. I'm never going to give a guarantee. But your best chance, when you go and you look at the Worldometer and you see 99.8% of people, 98 point something percent people that have gotten this infection in the world, United States and every other country, have survived with mild symptoms, that's the condition that you want to be in. That's the percentage that you want to be in, right? Not the 1.6 or 1.7, 2%, 3% that perished. You want to be in that side over there. So what I will guarantee you is that if you do all those things that I just finished saying, the great likelihood is that you'll be in that percentage over there, mild disease, get over it, and then keep living your life. But when it comes to protecting yourself during this pandemic, and I really don't care which variant it is, this is the best supplement for you, the IV100. If you had the vaccine, IV100 is the best thing for you. Right now, as these cases are going up, the best thing for you is to do those things, protect yourself, stay away from large crowds, and take the IV100 if you just don't have the ability or don't have the confidence in those things that you need to do. And then the last thing that I'll say when it's associated with this pandemic, brothers and sisters, is that if we are looking at the reality in August of 2021, and our conclusion is that the CDC, the NIH, the National Institute of Infectious Disease and Allergy, all of that crap that Fauci is over, the Human Health and Human Services, if you have come to the conclusion that these organizations have done nothing but lie to us over the last year and so, or just they're speaking with a forked tongue, or they're confused and they don't know what the hell they're talking about, then that's a good place for you to be. Because I said early in this pandemic and prior to this pandemic, because of reading Harriet Washington's book, Medical Apartheid, I didn't know this information before reading her book. When I graduated from medical school, when I finished my residency program, when I was a very young physician, still a young one, but when I was a very young physician, I believe that the CDC, the NIH, and these other organizations were organizations that were for the benefit of the people. But I'm here to tell you that time, experience, and now knowledge and wisdom lets me know 100% that these organizations do not have your best in their concern. Their concern is money and running certain aspects of this society for the elite. So if you've come to that conclusion that you can't trust them people, you're in a good place. You're in a much better place. If you're angry at them and you're like, man, I can't trust these people and what they say, that's a better place to be than trusting them. Because what Harriet Washington taught me in How to Eat to Live, in Medical Apartheid, was that we can't trust the CDC, the NIH, this government, and any on the Health and Human Services, any aspect that is a delineation of the United States government of America. Black people, brown people, indigenous people cannot trust. And so regardless of what they do to try to force us to take this vaccine, you'd be better off saying no, joining forces with other people in your area so that we have a place to come together when it's time to support each other. And then the circumstances will take care of themselves, because God is not going to leave us during this time. I am thoroughly convinced of that, because I'm thoroughly convinced that God is guiding my life. The words that I say to you all sometimes on these shows, I go back and I listen like, damn, where'd that come from? I pray before I come to these shows. I seriously contemplate what I'm going to say in the show. I do my research. I do my diligence. I don't read from a script, but I'm not speaking just from out of nowhere. I'm speaking from a plan. I pray that you all understand where I'm coming from, because I care enough to do my diligence and not want to come out here and speak like some of these ignorant people out here who just want to get a whole bunch of likes. I really don't give a damn about likes. You all can look at my numbers on all of my platforms. Sometimes they're good and sometimes they're not. It don't stop me. I'm not trying to choose what subject to speak on so that people will come watch the show. I speak on what is happening around me, what is necessary to talk about, and what people ask me to discuss. So at the end of the day, I have reliance in the God that we serve. I call him Master Fard Muhammad. I trust that man right there, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who influenced my father. And everything that I heard my father say and everything that I've read that this man said and suggested, I'm either watching it come true, I've watched it come true, and if I haven't seen it come true yet, I have faith that it's going to come true. And it's the same with that man in the corner. That man, not one thing that he's told me have I seen come not bearing fruit. So I'm going to ride with them to the end. That's me. And I pray that all of you ride with me, because I'm not ever going to give you information that I don't 100% believe. If I don't believe in it, I'm not going to come say it unless I say it and tell you that I don't believe in it or I don't think that that's good. But we're in a serious time of the valley of decision. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. We need to go get that Psalms 23 and put that in our soul, right? The scripture that talks about girding up your loins with the helmet of righteousness and the shield, the chest plate. We need to go read those scriptures and come out of some, like this is some of that's for right now, what we're dealing with, because there's a bright future for us, right? The story of Moses, for those of you who are not in the Nation of Islam, I just want to end with this. If you go read the story of Moses, who went to Pharaoh and said, let my people go, in the Nation of Islam, we don't believe that when you go into the Bible or the Quran, you're always reading about history. We believe 25% was history and 75 was prophecy. And that's when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad started teaching us. So it's not 25 history anymore and 75% prophecy, because we've walked into some of this reality. But right now, the valley of decision is the decision between those that needed to die out in the wilderness and the Joshua generation that was going to go with Moses and Aaron and build a new reality. That, in this humble brother's opinion, assessment, evaluation, is where we are right now. The decision on whether you take this vaccine or not is going to decide a lot for your future. It's a major decision, a major decision. In my humble opinion, assessment, evaluation, again, it is drawing the line in the sand of whether or not you're on the side of God or against him. Because I believe that's the mouthpiece of God. And if he tells you not to take the vaccine, and then those who are not necessarily members of the Nation of Islam, you may be sympathizers, you may, love the minister, but not really with everything that we about. Well, that's cool too. But at the end of the day, look at the science. Look at what I presented today. And if the science tells you I can't trust that vaccine, then that still supports what he said. I pray that you see where I'm coming from. So, my faith is prior to anything. I know for sure that if it wasn't for God, I would have never made it through medical school. I'd have never seen the dream come true of being a doctor. All of that credit goes to God for guiding me through that. And so my faith is primary in my life right now. It precedes everything. And so that's where I make my decisions first, is based on my faith, and then secondary with the information that I know, I studied, I learned, and that I'm deciphering on a day-to-day basis. So again, I thank everybody for coming. I know there are more comments. I will go and respond to your comments within the next couple of days, probably by the end of the week. I will not do it tomorrow because tomorrow is my birth anniversary. I'm going to chill tomorrow, have a good time, enjoy my day, enjoy my family, and enjoy my daughter's memory, and start my next year around the sun on a high note and a beautiful note. Okay, so thank you all for coming in on the Ultimate Wellness Group Transformation Tuesday. I pray that you got some news that you can use. I pray that you have been educated and girded tonight to some degree to be sure that you can make it through this pandemic and come out better on the other side. I pray that you realize after today's talk and spending time with me on a regular basis that your health deserves your attention. Your health deserves your work, and your health deserves your dedication. And so if we dedicate and are diligent in working for our health, we will be, God said the same, inshallah, on the other side of this pandemic, more healthy, stronger mentally, stronger unified as a people, and ready to move into our future, which is going to be much brighter than it's ever been in this country. So thank you again for coming. I pray that you all have a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful rest of your week. And I look forward to seeing you back here again in 2 weeks, right? No show next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after that, we'll be back, the Ultimate Wellness Group, bringing you some more news that you can use. So thank you all. Take care of yourself. Till next time. Peace.